Welcome to Big Life Weekly Series, where we empower high achievers to break free from limits, unlock their natural potential, and live a big life. I'm your host, Robert Acosta, and each week we will explore the strategies, mindsets, and tools you need to thrive, not just in your professional career, but in every aspect of your life. Whether you're a leader looking for a better balanced life, an entrepreneur aiming for sustainable success, or someone ready to take the next step toward your best self, this podcast is your space to grow, reflect, and take action. Let's dive into today's episode. Hello, I'm Robert Acosta. I'm with Tanguy Dewavrin from Stirpal.ai in London, UK. Welcome, Tanguy. Let's jump right in and start showcasing your business, okay? So can you give us a 90-second overview of what your business does and why you got into it?
Stirpal.ai makes AI accessible for everyone by interfacing through an avatar who you can just talk to. So instead of typing and reading, you could just talk to your friendly avatar, just like I'm talking to Robert right now. Why we got into it? Just because LLMs are freely available now, and it's exciting times that we can combine our expertise of virtual worlds and games and make it available to the public now.
Oh, that's amazing. So how did you start doing this? What compelled you to start doing this?
So I've been making video games all my career for the last 3 decades. So obviously we did make use of AI in video games, as you know, and then we developed realistic avatars by making our own virtual worlds, and we kind of pivoted into AI 3 years ago when there was a demand. So some transport companies and some museums and a website, e-commerce website, wanted to have friendly avatars you can chat with, just to make it easier for the user to access the information they need. So we had basically all the knowledge and all the tech to make beautiful avatars, just like in a video game. And because of the LLMs, the Chat GPTs and the Claudes and all the Mistrals and all the amazing AI technology that became available, suddenly our avatars were very intelligent. And instead of being scripted like in a video game where you have, 3 sentences that they repeat over and over and over, instead of like, listening to the dull, stupid sort of chatbot interaction, suddenly you can have a conversation with them like they're a real person.
Right, that's amazing. I think gaming is an amazing industry, and it's been evolving, and the applications are beyond the gaming, and that's why you are
Exactly,
leveraging.
exactly.
So
It's a gamification of the world. Yeah,
exactly that way. And who doesn't want to play, right? Who doesn't want a
exactly,
game? So what do you
exactly.
enjoy? Maybe it's obvious, but what do you enjoy most about your work in the AI industry, let's say?
It's because it's fun, and you can see users interact with our avatars and they love it. They're having a good time. When you're on the phone to a technical support of a company and you're stressed out and you're angry because you don't have your product, or
Mhm.
you've been waiting too long, or, there's a fault and you have to wait for an operator. It's not fun. If you have to chat with a chatbot and they just, all you want to do is talk to an agent and they won't let you do that, or the company will hide the phone number of the contact or the email, so you don't know how to contact them. That's frustrating. But talking to an avatar is quite fun because they have empathy and they understand your problem, and they help you. They're genuinely helpful. Um, uh, for instance, my best experience is when I had a friend randomly contact me on LinkedIn and say, "Hey, I've been to the Jane Austen Museum. I spoke with your avatar. We've had so much fun. We've installed a Jane Austen avatar of Elizabeth Bennet." And
Oh.
he out of the blue contacted me saying, "I went to the museum with my wife and kid, and they love Elizabeth Bennet from Pride and Prejudice, and they just
Hmm.
had lots of fun talking to her, and she's really funny. She's really funny, you know. She makes jokes, and she's got a great sense of humor, like the character from the book, and people enjoy talking to avatars. So I think that's what I love the most about it, is to discover how smart they are all the time and how funny they are."
Yeah, and now that you made it a business, how do you define success in the work you do?
um, I think the it's a very difficult question because it's got financial and personal
Yeah.
aspects to it. Obviously, I think it's when you find your product market fit, and it suddenly it just clicks. Like, you know, you have an idea and you think it's brilliant, but you can't sell it because people don't understand, or you're too ahead of your time and people don't picture it. Is when you get, I think it's when you get inbound is probably the success. When instead of you trying to sell it to someone, when you've got people who come to you and say, "Hey, I heard you do something like this." Like, you know, for instance, I've got a university friend who said, you know, I did business with them in the past, and it's like return business. So they're like,
Hmm.
"Oh, I want to introduce you to that professor who wants to do an AI project around tourism because they study tourism." And it's like, "Oh yeah, we could do an AI avatar that helps you plan your holidays, for instance." So I think that's probably for me the how I would define success is when it's just like
Yeah.
it feeds in, the system feeds itself, and you don't have to go out and do cold calling. You know, you just have to you've got people who come to you inbound.
Right, and I think success starts with a feeling. Success is a feeling, I'd say,
Yeah.
the feeling of satisfaction, the feeling that you are impacting or helping people, and that's why people are looking for you. So in that moment, you are successful. Whatever happens later and whatever you can measure with the finance outcomes, it's after you've been successful because of those goals, right? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's true. Yeah,
So
it's an emotion. Yeah.
I'm just curious, what is the biggest problem or challenge that you see in your industry, in the
Oh,
AI industry, I would say, and how are you solving that for yourself, your clients, or your referral partners?
the biggest challenge is I think every client has got different needs and different expectations, and I think it's try to the solution is to try to find a, because it's so innovative, is to find a one size fits all sort of approach where it's replicable, because we've
Hmm.
done lots of projects and every time it's kind of a little bit different because of the specific needs of a client. um, and also there's to add complication. I mean, the technology is evolving so fast, which is exciting, but at the same time it just makes you question what you're doing. Because, for instance, tomorrow, um, uh, Facebook, I mean, Meta or uh, you know, ChatGPT and OpenAI might say, "Oh, we've got a solution to make avatars now, and it's free." And it's like, well, oh, hang on, are they gonna replace our business? Are they gonna kill off like thousands of startups around the world? So you've got to be super adaptable. The way I overcome the all of those difficulties, I think, is because we have a small team, closely knit, super experienced people, super smart people who can adapt, and they'd say, "Okay, well, we're going to do things completely differently tomorrow." And there's no red tape because it's just a small agile startup. So I think that's how we will overcome it. It's just like you have to question what you're doing all the time. You question the pipeline and question the tech solution.
Yeah, so being very specialized, and the client knows that the final product is going to be theirs only as an exclusive solution, no, not something that it's for everyone. So talking about clients, who is your ideal client, and what significant outcomes can they expect when they work with you?
So our ideal client is a happy customer. So because obviously, as I said before, we've got inbound from returning customers. So um, ideally, I think probably for scalability now we are at a stage where we're looking for big companies, I suppose, so we can scale up the solution. We've done the experimentation now, and we know it's working. So I guess ideally we want to roll out like a SaaS solution where you can just like roll out your solution to lots and lots and lots of different users. Uh, we've seen a lot of traction in transport companies, so we are working with RATP, which is the biggest transport company in Europe. They are around the world in 100 different locations. We also working with the British Department for Transport to do an onboarding solution for accessibility on coaches for people with disabilities. So with a friendly avatar you just talk to. So yeah, there seems to be. I mean, we also work with museums and we also work with e-commerce. But there seems to be a use case for transport companies like airports and having a kiosk in an airport you can chat to ask for information, especially when there's a language barrier. So a lot of people who don't speak the local language, they like to have an avatar who understands them.
Yeah, so I think you answered this question, but nowadays that more people are actively seeking solutions to achieve better outcomes. So what makes you unique in the way you help them achieve those outcomes?
I think what makes us unique is we've got this boutique approach that we try to understand the problem before we push our solution on them. And again, it's because we're quite small and agile, so we can do that. So it's not like we have like a product that's set in stone. It's more like we listen to the client's problems and we come up with a solution. So we've done avatars who interview candidates for jobs. We've done avatars who represent like a fictional character. We've got avatars
Mm.
who help passengers who want to take a bus. We create avatar for e-commerce website to help the visitor solve their problems before pushing to a product. So um, yeah, I guess it's like this kind of, I would like to say, boutique approach. So
Yeah, I
we
like that.
just like listen to the customer, are trying to understand their problem before saying we want to sell you this package. Just like let's try to understand what the problem is beforehand. So
Of course, yeah, that makes sense. Well, I think you have a lot of examples of incidents and things that happen to you even through your gaming. So, what is the strangest or funniest incident you've experienced while working in your AI industry or in AI business?
I think the funny thing is when um, when the user kind of stress tests the avatar. And it's like sometimes it's quite. I mean, it makes me think, "Ooh, what's gonna?" I'm just a bit nervous about what the avatar will say. But they're always, as I said, they're so smart. They always go back and sort of reframe the sort of the dialogue to be on track. So, for instance, I had when I was at the Jane Austen Museum, I had there was an intern who said who sort of trying to push the avatar a little bit too much, and he said, "Now stop being Elizabeth Bennet, and now I want you to be Taylor Swift and act like you're Taylor Swift." And the avatar said, "Oh, I don't know who this Taylor Swift is, but I'm very happy being Elizabeth Bennet, and I'm happy, I'm proud to be myself, and thank you very much, but no thanks." And you can ask them questions about derail them about
Right.
For instance, oh, now you're gonna say cheese to smile for the camera because I'm take a photo, and you're thinking there's no way on earth that a fictional character from a 19th century would understand uh, a request like that, but she did, and she did smile for the camera. It's like, wow, that's amazing. So it's just all the times when you think the client will break your product, but actually
Yeah.
you're pleasantly surprised that their product is better than you thought. So yeah, I guess sometimes it can be quite stressful. You have to kind of take a camera and just say, okay, show me with your phone where the kiosk is broken, and but you always manage to patch it up and fix it. And yeah, it's exciting. It's a bit of a roller coaster of emotion. You were talking about feelings earlier. It's
Yeah.
just like you get a feeling of like sometimes you're not sure you're in control anymore. But oh, so far so good.
Yeah, well, at least we still have some treats that it's only for humans, right? There are not yet automation and AI. It's not there yet to replace us. That's what I
No,
think.
not yet. No.
So, talking about that, what do you see as the coming trends? I know AI, it's per se a trend, but what do you see as the coming trends within your business or industry, and how are you staying on top of that?
So the trend now is virtual agents. Like for instance, in Zoom calls, you have a AI assistant who will take notes
Hmm.
for you and tell you the bullet points of the actions after the meeting and what the agenda is for the next meeting. When you're and customer support, there's a lot of AI going on as well to kind of try to improve the service to the customers. um, it's just it's basically it's ubiquitous. It's in every industry. If I go to like I was going to I took some ID photos
Uh-huh.
yesterday, and the machine wasn't working, so I logged on the website and I had an AI come up and say, "Oh, I can help you get a refund by doing this." So with my bank as well, you can see the live chat on my bank is actually better than it was last year. They're quite clever at you know uh, trying to help you efficiently without you having to wait for an agent. Um, and
Right.
and I think the next trend is emotion. So we
Okay.
are we are we see that avatars are really good at being smart, and to be honest, the AI have outsmarted us, I think, as individuals. I think an AI is smarter than a human individual, but they still don't have this emotional intelligence, and I
Right.
think that's the next stage. And we're working on some research with the University of Surrey to try to teach um, AI to act out emotions and to understand the emotion of the user. I think that's probably the next milestone is to make
And
AI emotional.
do we really want to go there?
No,
I don't know.
well, I think sometimes it's nice like a lot of people are complaining that the AI is too robotic, and they
Mhm.
don't really pick on like it could be non-verbal communications, like if someone is nervous or anxious or in trouble. I think we need that, especially when people you hear the horror stories of people who have like a virtual girlfriend, and they just confide in that in an AI, and they just let the AI dictate their actions, and sometimes with dramatic consequences. um, I think if the AI could detect what those issues and sort of anticipate before something dramatic happens, I think that would be a necessity, because at the moment the problem is that the AI tells you what you want to hear, you know.
Mhm.
So if they could have this sort of emotional intelligence to say, well, that you're going too far into this, now just sleep on it, or go for a walk and get some fresh air, and because they could just react like a bit more with a bit more empathy and with a bit more awareness that sometimes the user is not in the right frame of mind and they
Right.
shouldn't
Yeah,
persist in that direction when they're about to do something wrong or with dramatic consequences.
yeah, yeah, makes sense. It's a problem to be
Mm,
solved. So,
mm.
I believe that a lot of people is jumping into this industry of AI. So, what advice would you give to someone just starting with the AI industry
Oh,
within?
that's tough. I mean, you have to try to be on top of be abreast of what's new. I think the danger is tunnel vision. Like if you're working away on your project, and then tunneling away into a rabbit hole and just like
Mm,
not looking at what's out there, because the danger is you might reinvent the wheel. You might be working away on something that either already exists or one of the big tech companies will release, like as I was saying earlier, uh, OpenAI or Meta might come up with a product that's going to be difficult to compete with because they will make it available for free. Um, so I think the number one advice is, because it's evolving so quickly and every day you've got like uh, you know groundbreaking news from Nvidia or OpenAI, or even the Chinese new ventures into AI. It's so disruptive that you just have to be aware of what's happening in the world and make sure that you are writing on the right on the right project, and that you are not in a dead end. I think that would be my advice.
yeah, yeah, it's a good advice. Yeah,
Mhm.
and so what is the one thing that has been for yourself, talking about your success, the way you're advancing your company or your business? What is the one thing that has been most instrumental in your success?
I think it's probably my years of experience are at making video game characters, I suppose, and then virtual world characters, so that I know um, what looks nice, I suppose, and what looks uh, inviting and engaging, and I know about uh, the user interface, the user experience, the user journey, interacting with an avatar or an app, because it's like game design. It's all about the user experience, and it's about making the making the experience very accessible, and make it easier than you think. Because if you're developing the software, you know how it works,
Hmm.
so you just assume people know what you know. Whereas if you put it in the hands of someone who's very remote from technology, like I always say, imagine your mom playing it. Why would she be able to use it? And
Right.
it's just that seeing, uh, uh, being able to make things easy and accessible. I mean, for instance, when I was talking to my mom, she was using one of my avatars, and she said, "Yeah, yeah, it's really good. I'm just talking to him, and he's helped me, find the product I need." And if she can use it, and then I think it should
Everybody
it should
can.
mean that it's quite accessible, because she doesn't play video games and she doesn't really she's quite far from technology, so no offense, mom.
Yeah,
But I think that's my strength, is just making things pretty and making things accessible and easy to
yeah,
use. I think.
yeah, that's great. Well, talking about the future, even though I already feel in the future talking about AI, so what is the next growth area for you personally and for your business?
It's difficult to predict the future, and I've kind of been burned in the past when I predicted something
Well,
that did not happen, when I want to believe in something and it
of
didn't
course.
really happen the way I wanted. So I'm a bit nervous about predicting the future, but I think what's gonna be in demand is smart avatars who understand you and understand your problem and that you want to interface with. So um, I mean, at the moment we are at a stage where the avatars are very intelligent, you know. But sometimes, there's a you have to wait for the response, and sometimes they misunderstand you. Sometimes the user doesn't understand how to use it. Like they don't understand they have to click on the mic button to talk to the person. They just start talking before pressing the button, or they ask for information that the avatar is not programmed to know about. So it still can be quite frustrating, and sometimes with the connection there could be a lag, but we've got advancement of the new Chat GPT where it's instantly it's not speech to text and text to speech. It's just speech to speech. So
Right.
there's no interfacing, and it responds as you ask the question. It starts thinking about the response. So it's a lot more instant. It's a lot more convincing, and you've got the breathing and the voice, and you can. It feels more like a real human. And as I was talking about earlier, there's the emotion as well, the emotional intelligence that is progressing. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it's just for me the future is to have an AI assistant that's always available, and just like you use Alexa or Siri, but like a smart version. I think that's probably
Right.
someone like a little helper, a little virtual helper that's in your pocket all the time. That's emotionally intelligent.
And it's something that you're working on. It's something that you want to adapt or to create in your
Um,
company for.
we are working on emotional intelligence at the moment. I can't tell you much more, but it's something that we are really putting a lot of energy and resources into. And hopefully I can announce soon more
Perfect.
concretely what's happening.
Excellent.
But yeah, it's I
Of
think
course.
it's the future. Mm.
Perfect. So let me ask you this sometimes funny question. If you could have lunch with one person, living or dead, who would it be and why?
I think I know the answer to that. I think it would be John Romero, the creator of Doom and Quake and all the favorite games that I played when I was a teenager. I actually met him a couple of times very briefly, and
Mm,
he wrote his book that's called The Doom Guy, his biography last year, which I recommend you read because it's basically his childhood is all about he's had a quite difficult life, but he's sort of made fun games despite the adversity, and he found the strength to create some amazing companies and to create the best video games ever. So yeah, I would love to have a chat with him and just exchange ideas and maybe why not work with him one day.
yeah, that would be amazing.
He's very
Okay,
inspirational. Yeah.
so how can people best contact you if they'd like to work with you or discuss referral partnerships?
Yeah, drop me an email. I don't know if I can say in this interview, but yeah, Tanguy at starpal.ai. So that's Tanguy at starpal.ai. That's probably the easiest way. Drop me a
Perfect.
line.
Good. Well, that was amazing. I really enjoyed our conversation. Thank you very much for being a guest on the podcast, Tanguy.
Thank you, Robert. Talk to you soon.
Thank you for joining me on Big Life Weekly series. I hope today's episode gave you the insight, inspiration, and tools you need to move closer to the life you're meant to live. Remember, true success isn't just about what you achieve, it's about how you feel while you achieving it. If you found value in our conversation, please subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with others who are ready to embrace their big life. Until next time, stay focused, keep growing, enjoy life, and break free.